Okay, back again with the 2008 Infiniti G35. The second issue I had once I got this car running. I got a video on like the BCM, ECM, ECU, the car not cranking, etc. You can go check that video out. But this is the second issue I had with the car once I fixed all that and got the car running. On these G35s, this is 2008. If you look under here, it's rusty because his water was draining. If you look, this is the brake pedal. And you see that? You got a sensor there, and you got a sensor there. You got one sensor, two sensors. So when you press the brakes, you got two sensors. So when you press the brakes on these G35s, you got two sensors. If one of those sensors is bad, the brake lamp switch or brake pedal switch, if it's bad, you have cranking issues. If it's not working at all, you won't be able to crank the car. You won't be able to turn the ignition on because the car doesn't recognize that you're pressing the brakes. And sometimes if it's working, or if it's like working one way or the other, you can turn the ignition on, but you can't crank the car. And then sometimes you can, every time you press the start button, it'll crank the car, but you won't actually be able to turn the accessories on because it thinks you're pressing the brakes all the time. And you can tell that by your brake lights being on. And you can tell that by, like, if you know that you went out there and cranked the car up and then like the next day or the next week it's not cranking and it's recognizing the key and it's saying press the brakes to crank the car. If that brake switch isn't working, it's not going to allow you to crank the car. And if it's malfunctioning or if it's on all the time, it's going to use, every time you hit the start button, it's going to crank the car. You won't be able to just turn the accessories on. And you can check it by having someone see if the brake lights are kicking on when you press the brakes, or like if your brake lights are staying on even when you turn the car off, or even when you're not mashing the brakes, the lights are still on.